You are now tuning into She Dances in the Rain, a vocal expression conceived by I Set Asante at I Set the Mic. You can find these sound bites in podcasts and video format. The links are in the description box. Powerful beings, according to this plane, today is the 13th day of the 8th month in the year 2020. Before we get started, I wanted to check in with you all. How have you all been doing? What are you all focusing on right now in your lives? As for myself, I appreciate you, the like minds that are here and that have been here from day one. I intend that those of you that have been misnomered, mislabeled, misdiagnosed can find restoration in your medicine. At this time, before we begin, powerful beings, I am conversing with you within the symphony of silence. It is imperative that you listen to the words I am saying. It is code for what is happening now and what is to precede it. I want to share with the fam that we are on code as such. Moving forward, I want it to be clear that the truth has no owner. Truth is not contingent upon one's belief in it. Like the following analogy, in the forest when a tree falls and no one is around to hear it, did it make a sound? The answer to that is yes every time, because that tree has this experience whether it interfaces with your eardrums or not. All that suffice to say, everyone that has chosen to like, share this video, and subscribe to this channel have done so because they know the truth, speak the truth, forewarn others about the truth, and it has been gaslit. Today, I want to remind you all of the following with regards to the attached link in the description and comments section. For anyone experiencing uncertainty about the legal rights and the code of ethics involved in dealing with mental health practitioners that abuse their sanctioned power, remember that which was given to you shall be taken from you for violation of its code. This is an intro video, and we must all be accountable for where we reside and the laws that dictate the societal constructs of our experience. You are responsible for protecting your humanity and safeguarding your mental health from biased practitioners. #medical apartheid. Wherever you exist in this world, you have value and you are powerful. I give thanks to my community for reminding me of these things, because when you exist in a world that chooses to deny your right to exist as you were birthed to be, you must remember to invoke your memory. All this to say, if you feel that your rights have been violated, do not emote your experience from a place of victimization. Rather, apply victorious restorative action. How does one do that? Take tangible notes of all kinds. Match those notes with research. Validate that research by a professional. Proceed according to your country's regulations. Now, let us all begin with an excerpt on ethics. To put it simply, ethics represents the moral code that guides a person's choices and behaviors throughout their life. The idea of a moral code extends beyond the individual to include what is determined to be right and wrong for a community or a society at large. Ethics is concerned with rights, responsibilities, use of language, what it means to live in an ethical life, and how people make moral decisions. We may think of moralizing as an intellectual exercise, but more frequently, it's an attempt to make sense of our gut instincts and reactions. It's a subjective concept, and many people have strong and stubborn beliefs about what right and wrong that can place them in direct contrast to the moral beliefs of others. Yet, even though morals may vary from person to person, religion to religion, and culture to culture, many have been found to be universal, stemming from basic human emotions. Remember, everyone, the links to the articles I am reading are attached where applicable. So, example, if you reside in America and the medical practitioner has been duplicitous and has violated code by talking about you and your file to people you have not authorized to do so, What you need to do is look into the code of ethics applicable to where you are and proceed according to your means. The ACA, American Counseling Association, has information in regards to this. The APA, American Psychological Association, asked its members for examples of actual situations they had encountered that raised ethical issues. It then sifted through the numerous responses, developed a series of principles, and then submitted the principles to the membership for feedback. Over a 4-year period, they eventually derived the first code of ethics and published it in 1953 as the Ethical Standards of Psychologists. An example of this code is the following. Article number 3.10, Section D. Psychologists appropriately document written or oral consent, permission, and assent. In conclusion of this intro video, I created this channel because I had a foreboding feeling about engaging with a licensed therapist because of the history of medical apartheid and the fact that this person demonstrated in the past that they see me as disordered. This fact created a bias on their part, coupled with the fact that they are my blood family. Over a year later, my name and the misdiagnosis on their part of my medicine is still being discussed by them with others without my permission. Here today, it is on record I had never wanted to share any of my business publicly, nor that of my families. And then when my foreboding feeling came to pass, it was then that I chose to reflect the truth of my experience that was gaslit to others as the misnomer. So family, if anyone ever calls you a thing that is not true, remember, do not emote about it. Simply stand firm in the truth, because by definition you cannot be what they misrepresented you to be, because you are already birthed in your medicine. The question is, will you be all of who you agree to be in the face of adversity, or are you going to allow those that cannot hold your medicine to define the content of your character? It is vital to your liberty that you enlist credible witnesses to hold space for you amongst manipulators and their flying monkeys. These witnesses will be helpful in future to attest to their experiences with you, so that those with sanctioned power to discredit your existence will not have the sole authority on who you are. You must understand the context of misdiagnosis of Black carbon-dominant beings. Because at one time, the same medical doctrine of today, in its history, misdiagnosed enslaved carbon-dominant people as possessing Drapetomania. This was a conjectural mental illness that, in 1851, American physician Samuel A. Cartwright hypothesized as a cause of enslaved Africans fleeing captivity. Family, do you understand that our ancestors knew and know the rights of their humanity, and at one point were legally castigated as mentally ill for running away from captivity? We must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Who among you knows the artist that quoted those words? We all have experienced traumas, and when a licensed therapist can empathize with everyone outside of the misdiagnosed individual, this is where implicit and inherent bias come into play. One cannot sign petitions to have racial and bias sensitivity training if the bias did not exist in the first place to require those that adopt it to unlearn the damaging effects of its practice. Understand that when you are biased, it affirms the truth that you are choosing to side with the what and all that makes you very comfortable. The truth can be uncomfortable for those that want to keep it hidden, that is. Truth is as inherent as birth is to death. When the lies that are told die, the truth is birth. And only those that choose to see it will be empowered by their medicine, because your trauma exists in the lie, and your wealth exists in the truth. Powerful beings, family, thank you all like minds for your support, inspiration, and dedication to being who you chose to be. I want you all to always remember Your nature restores you. Be empowered. Ashe.